Yes, on Thursday. And it's not called a self-defense class deliberately because I look at it differently. There's a whole different concept from calling it self-defense as opposed to resilience, which is what the course is called. It's a resilience course for women. Self-defense, I think, is more acting off the back foot, expecting somebody to attack you first before you react. Whereas I look at it as a completely different approach. I'm more preventive in approach as opposed to waiting for something to happen and then reacting. If we look at Philippians 4:13, where it says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, that is the baseline for the course. We're not only looking at the physical, that is the actions on when something takes place or in a moment where you anticipate something is going to take place, but also the spiritual angle, which is our faith in Christ to protect us and strengthen us through faith in Him and bring that into actually preparing ourselves to react when there's need to do so. The most important thing is be aware of your surroundings, very aware of your surroundings. When you are in a place where you feel uncomfortable, acknowledge it. Acknowledge the sixth sense, which will alert you to possible danger. Being uncomfortable is not a bad thing. It keeps us sharp. And most importantly, be always aware of how you are going to leave. Don't allow yourself to be placed in a corner where there is no exit, in inverted commas, and keeping it always on your toes. Be aware, be alert, and be safe. I consider fear to be healthy. It's not, we're not here to eliminate the sense of fear, because fear is a very significant pointer towards there being something out of normal, which is where the phrase abnormal comes from. The absence of normal is abnormal. So, and fear is comes in direct relation to feeling uncomfortable. So what I would say is, what we would like to do is to encourage healthy fear, because fear can also be unhealthy. It's the fight or flight reaction. Flight is one thing, fight is another thing. So I would lean more towards the fight principle as opposed to the flight, and that in that way inspiring confidence in the ladies in our parish. The biggest group of muscles in the body are in the legs, and I would suggest using those group of muscles as opposed to trying to use the arms if in a dangerous situation. Well, it's not always day and night. It's not always. The situations like this often evolve very rapidly, and despite being aware, alert, thinking about safety, knowing your exits and so on, you might be confronted in a situation where there is no exit, and then it's very important to understand how to react, because it's not always necessary to resort to physical violence in a dangerous situation. Very often you will find that keeping your wits about you and making informed decisions is better than just running away. It could mean that you could get hurt. That's always a factor, even in sport, in boxing, for example, which is the closest I can bring to this, or the contact sports like MMA. There's always a chance you're going to get a cut lip or a bruised ear or a punch in the stomach or a kick in the knees. But there are methods also to avoid getting hurt, and the ability to accept damage and still be able to react forms also a part of the course.